Have you ever noticed that there are a lot of species of white birds that live along our rivers? Hi, my name is Marley, and I'm an interpreter for the Huron-Clinton Metroparks here at the Oakwoods Metropark Nature Center. The Metroparks are entering into an exciting new partnership with the Detroit Riverfront Conservancy. Every month, we'll be bringing you a new video about the animals and ecosystems of Southeast Michigan. Behind me is the Huron River, and a lot of the same species of plants and animals that we see along the Huron can be seen on the Detroit River as well. Today we'll be talking about a special water bird that you might see when visiting the Ralph C. Wilson Centennial Park or any other wetland environment throughout Michigan. Now one day, I was taking a hike on the river when I saw a big white bird wading in the water. At first, I thought it was a swan. It had a long neck like a swan and big white wings that had stretched out on either side of its body when it flew. But unlike our local mute swans, this bird's beak was really pointy. Its body was arched and slender, and when it stood out of the water, I noticed that it had spindly black legs that were too long to be a swan's. When I got a closer look through my binoculars, I realized that this is one of my favorite Michigan birds. I was looking at a great egret, also known as a common egret, or a great white heron. Now these awesome birds are frequently seen along the Detroit River in the late summer and early fall. Great egrets are migratory, meaning that they move to different locations throughout the year to breed, nest, raise their young, and overwinter. In the springtime, great egrets mate in central and northern parts of North America when temperatures are warmer and food is more abundant. And in the wintertime, when wetlands like the Huron River freeze over, these birds fly south towards warmer climates. The great egret lives over huge portions of the United States, and Michigan is actually a part of both its migratory and breeding territories. And these birds are quite the world traveler. We actually find subspecies of this same great egret in Europe, Asia, and Africa. Their unique adaptations for hunting allow them to live over a huge diversity of environments. Speaking of hunting, the great egret is in a group of birds that we like to call wading birds. You might be familiar with other types of wading birds like flamingos or storks. These animals find their prey by walking along in shallow water and combing the shoreline for food. The great egret eats all sorts of prey, like fish, frogs, worms, insects, crayfish, or any other small animal it can fit in its mouth. Its sharp beak and long neck act like a specialty fishing spear that it uses to grab animals out of the water with speed and precision. Now the next time you're walking along the river and you see one of these birds, you might notice how often it jabs its head in and out of the water. One thing that makes the great egret really adaptive is that it can hunt in both salt and freshwater environments. Now the great egret might look kind of plain from far away, but these birds actually have a flair for the dramatic. When mating season rolls around, adult egrets need a way to signal to each other that they're ready for a partner. To do this, they put on their best disco outfits and grow temporary feathers. The patch around their eye turns a bright electric green, and they grow long, fluffy plumes out of their backs called egrets. These egrets move and shake when the male egret puts on his courtship display. It's pretty groovy if you ask me. Now, it's easy to see great egrets all along the eastern United States, but this wasn't always the case. Remember those fancy mating feathers? Well, in the 1800s, bird feathers were the height of fashion, and women prized the great egret's long egrets for decorating the brims of their hats. People killed great egrets and shipped these feathers all across the globe for sale. These feathers were actually so fashionable and valuable that the great egret was almost hunted to extinction. As the great egret and other birds began to disappear, people became concerned about preserving the lives of these beautiful creatures. In the early 20th century, conservationists created laws to ban plume hunting, and they built wildlife sanctuaries so that wild birds could live undisturbed by people. Now, there are over 180,000 great egrets living in North America. The resurgence and protection of the great egret population was so successful that it's actually the symbol of the National Audubon Society. The beauty of the great egret and its near extinction remind us of the importance of protecting our watersheds. Our rivers support thousands of special animals that rely on aquatic resources to survive. The next time you're walking along the Detroit River and you see a great egret, take a moment to watch it wade through the water and hunt its prey. We have it to thank for reminding us of the importance of bird conservation.